not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And this video here is going to be a response to Oshay Duke Jackson, a video that he published on January 10th, entitled "Why I Refuse to Be a Victim and Black People Also." Basically, what I get, the synopsis of this video is that, you know, black people have this victim mentality, or this can't do mentality, that is sort of holding us back, and that black people in the black community who has more of an optimistic look, who don't, I guess, don't blame everything on the white wizard of white supremacy, you know, tend to excel. And that, you know what I'm saying, black people with this, I guess, I can't do attitude. In some ways I agree with that. Black people shouldn't allow themselves to be immobile and think that there's this sort of that this systematic racism can is keeping you in place, keeping you in your place. But my thing is, we live in a dog-eat-dog world. You know what I'm saying? There's a fight for resources and so forth. And if we pay attention, it seems like everybody has a victim mentality. I'm like, heck, Trump supporters feel that they was the victim, so that's why they stormed the Capitol. Oshay Duke Jackson says something about how some brothers think that the whole entire system is rigged. Well, Donald Trump feels that that the whole entire system is rigged. Every time Trump loses or whatever, or Republicans lose, or someone says something disparaging about him, they say, oh, that's false, it's rigged, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. But I would say this, that there can be a black person who may have a victim mentality. He may feel that there are things in place holding black people back. But that black person can also become a millionaire. Then you can have some black people that may even embrace the Confederate flag. Some black people saying that slavery is by choice or whatever, and that, you know what I'm saying, black people are the cause of their own problems. Or, you know what I'm saying, the Africans sold black people into slavery anyway. And some of these black people can be dirt poor. You know what I'm saying? They can be hauling junk for a living and living in a shack infested with roaches. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but your ability to want to exceed in life and go ahead and get that money, you know what I'm saying, that's like your own determination, your own self-drive, you know what I'm saying. I got family members that are, you know what I'm saying, living in the suburbs, you know, and so forth, and, you know, they vote Democratic, and they feel that there is a invisible white supremacy force field around everything. But it doesn't stop them from going out and doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? Think about the character Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks. You know, he's the one who wish he was white. He blames black people for everything and so forth. The white people can't do anything wrong. But, you know, and he works like, what, 9 jobs? But, you know, he drives a beat-up truck, and he doesn't seem like he has much money. Now, I'm not saying Oshay Duke Jackson is claiming that the white people are completely innocent and so forth. You know, that's not where I'm getting at. But when we look at people who excel academically in our society, we have to look at what type of neighborhoods they come from. You know, it's safe to say that Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, or Elon Musk aren't from poor, scuzzy white neighborhoods. They're from affluent neighborhoods. You know, affluent neighborhoods may produce affluent people. That even goes for black people who live in affluent neighborhoods. Some people may feel that there's some sort of barrier because it's economic. You know, people from poor neighborhoods, people who have parents that didn't even graduate from high school. You know what I'm saying? And this includes a lot of white people. They'll tell you that, hey, yeah, the neighborhood I come from do not produce a lot of doctors and a lot of lawyers. You know, and hence, black people from affluent neighborhoods, they're going to feel that, you know what I'm saying, they can be an astronaut or a doctor or a physician and so forth. So it depends on, so a lot of times we have to look beyond, you know what I'm saying, race and so forth. Because I remember I met this white girl who said, I'm going to be stuck in Steak and Shake for the rest of my life. You know, that she was a waitress at this restaurant called Steak and Shake that's going downhill and so forth. So therefore, I feel that people in poor neighborhoods may feel that their options in general are limited. But you have to understand that black people are judged differently than other people. Hell, these poor white neighborhoods, which there's a lot of them. I understand white people are judged by the people who live in their affluent neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Poor white neighborhoods may produce blue-collar workers, construction workers, and plumbers. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that and so forth. And I do feel that poor black neighborhoods produced a lot of construction workers and plumbers and electricians. They also produce a lot of criminals and so forth. But hence, I heard something that there are more successful millionaires that come out of poor black neighborhoods than poor white neighborhoods. I don't know how true that is. Now, Oshay Juke Jackson brought up examples, and he used Tyler Perry as an example of someone who said he didn't have that can't do attitude. You see how he made it. This is the same argument that we hear over and over. We hear it about Oprah and so forth, Bill Cosby, like, look at how they made it. I'm like, they had a conversation about this in the movie Spike Lee joint, Get on the Bus. Yes, but, you know what I'm saying, entertainers aren't really good examples. I understand that Tyler Perry is somebody that's also a producer, so he's beyond an actor, but still, even back in the days, back in the 30s and the 40s, when black people were not just up at the back of the bus, but up under the bus holding on to exhaust pipes. You know, have black people producing vaudeville shows. Matter of fact, Sammy Davis Jr., you know, his father, you know, had a vaudeville act that he produced or whatever. You know, Sammy Davis Jr. was a very popular entertainer, but he couldn't even go through the front door of a lot of the facilities that he was performing in. You know, so entertainers are kind of considered, you know what I'm saying, non-threatening. You know, even if they're like entertainers that's dealing with, you know what I'm saying, just who only want to deal with the black demographic. And I did a video about this, but then once you start going into white territories, you know what I'm saying, that's when you're going to go into problems. Just like that black dude, and you know what I'm saying, went to an Air Force Academy. He was the only black dude there, or a black dude going into the going to West Point and so forth. And then we're going to see black people moving into white neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Then we're going to see, that's when they said, then you're going to really see who the white man is. But even if we go into entertainment, you take someone like Ice Cube. You know, Ice Cube has been pretty much successful, you know, ever since the NWA days. He went into movies, very successful brother. And he said stuff like, the white man is something I've tried to study, but I got my hands bloody. You know, the white man got the world fucked up and telling me not to throw away my styrofoam cup. You know, Ice Cube have said some shit. I love Ice Cube. Even in his new music that, you know, a lot of people don't pay attention to. So you know how Ice Cube has this mentality of, you know, don't trust these motherfuckers or whatever. But that didn't stop him from doing what he got to do. I think black people, you know what I'm saying, they just probably don't trust the system. Which you shouldn't. You shouldn't trust anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's a winners take world out there. Also, Oshay Juke Jackson, he started saying something about like talking about the other races, how all these other races of people, ethnicities or whatever, are excelling beyond black people, saying Mexican parents don't tell their Mexican kids they can't do that. Whoa, let's back up here. What black parents are telling their black kids they can't do nothing? I never came across, even black people who live in a project, and if their kid says, hey, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an ocean biologist or so forth, you think, what parents are going to say, no, you're not going to do that, you know? No, I'm like, most parents feel that their kids are smart. Like, my kids are smart. They make straight A's in school. They're going to go off, you know what I'm saying, to be a dentist and so forth. You know, so most parents are very optimistic about their kids. They will never tell that, oh no, you can't do that because this invisible force field that's created by white people and so forth. So I think that right there is a big fallacy, and we shouldn't be putting. OJ Duke Jackson should know better than put information out there like that. Because white people love seeing. They love seeing. Yeah, it's because of those black people. It's their own mentality. They're holding their own selves back. This is a dog-eat-dog world out here. We have a battle for ideologies. If black people grow and manifest themselves, that's fair. White people would feel like their way of life would be in danger. Hence, like that black girl who wanted to, what did that black girl want to do? She wanted to change Santa Claus. She wanted Santa Claus to be some sort of marine mammal. I think she said Santa Claus should be a walrus. He's not real, and you make Santa Claus white, and so forth. Why not change him to a walrus? I agree with that. But then there's these Republicans feel like, oh, our way of life is going to be, Christmas is going to be ruined or whatever. Santa Claus is a white man. Santa Claus don't exist. Santa Claus could be a goddamn snowman, and that's the thing. So when you think about these European holidays, what I'm saying, they may feel that their culture, their identity may be in danger. Not just by black people, just by foreigners, what I'm saying, their language, what I'm saying, their religion. I'm like, it's how it is. It's a battle of religion, ideologies, lands, and so forth. Now, as I said before, you can be a happy-go-lucky Negro and accept the jelly beans the white man gets you. Be like, the white man's good. He gave me a couple of jelly beans. Or you could be like a black man saying, my people are a victim of 400 years of oppression. Systematic racism exists, and you can just snag $1 million and just say, shit, I'm taking this right here. You know what I'm saying? I think about what Jack Nicholson said at the beginning of the movie Departed. I agree with him. He says, if you want anything out of this country, the only thing I have against my black chaps, well, if you want anything out of this country, nobody gives it to you. You got to take it. And I'm not saying that OJ Duke Jackson agrees with this mentality, but you have to take it by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? You can have whatever mentality you have. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to get yours or not, you can almost still have a victim mentality. Be like, yeah, I'm a victim of all this, but I'm gonna go and get what's mine. Also, OJ the Duke Jackson stated that something about the trucking industry. Which, what I'm saying, I have my CDLB, so I know a little bit about trucking, that whole CDL licensing and stuff. And he says, talking about black people should be taught this, the Russians are coming over here. First of all, we can't be talking about foreigners coming over here, because everybody loves to look at the foreigners. They come over here, they're doing better than black people. But if you go into their own country, you see Russians or whatever, Indian people slumming it up. Doing absolutely nothing with them lives. You know what I'm saying? Living in rock bottom poverty. I'm like, Russia has they got a big drug epidemic, AIDS epidemic going on. I could say, hey, why don't these people fix their own countries instead of coming over here? So therefore, black people are judged to people who, of course, people from other countries come here. They're going to be the ones to excel. Just like when you see black people overseas, they're the ones that usually excel. They're very open-minded and so forth. But hence, the trucking industry. Now, first of all, 1 out of 3 truckers are black. And I remember when I was talking to a truck driver, a white truck driver, old school truck driver, he said that during civil rights, he said a lot of black men wanted to flood into the trucking industry. But the trucking industry wanted to create some regulations to keep them out. And one of the regulations was that you have to be literate to be a truck driver. You have to know how to read. And I figured, shouldn't a truck driver already knows how to read that? I'm like, how does he get from one place to another? But he stated that when a lot of white truck drivers had to renew their license, that it also created a barrier for them. Because they didn't know how to read. I don't know how they got from one place to another. I guess they just look for symbols or whatever, or they go on certain routes. So there's a lot of black truck drivers out there. There's a lot of black, definitely a lot of black bus drivers out there. There's like this unsung black working force that is making good money and living in the middle class, but of course, us black people are judged by our Pookie and Ray Rays. And even Pookie and Ray Rays are optimistic. A lot of them feel like, you know what I'm saying, they're going to make it to the big leagues as some big rapper when they come out with their mixtape and so forth. So, yeah. But also, you have to understand how are crises handled in the black community compared to the white community. And one huge example I'm going to use is how America handled the crack cocaine epidemic as in contrast to the opioids. You know, when it came to crack cocaine, there was a war on drugs. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? You had all kind of movies coming out and, and so New Jack City and video games, Say No to Drugs and so forth. They was rounding up. They was going inside neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? It was like, get them all and let God sort them out. But when it comes to the opioid epidemic, it was just looked at as a public national health crisis. That this is some sort of delicate matter. You know, why not? Why don't we just round up all these fucking white drug dealers, man? Lock them up and throw away the key. You know, so you have got to look at it from that whole aspect and so forth. But that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and never stop learning.